Number 1. 1992 Cadillac DeVille, Laplace, Louisiana, $2,000. Number 1, 92 DeVille for $2,000. And yeah, this already smells like I was gonna fix it. Energy. Black on black is cool. I'll get that. And those old 4.9 Cadillacs, they actually do run forever, which is dangerous because it makes you trust the rest of the car. Sitting, though, I don't like that word. Sitting turns small issues into a whole list real quick. Interior being nice is a big win if that's true, because those interiors can fall apart in depressing ways. Paint could go either way. Black always tells on you. I don't hate it. I really don't. But this feels like one of those cars where you tell yourself it just needs a little work, and suddenly you're chasing weird electrical stuff at night for no reason. Number 2. 1967 Ford Mustang Coupe 2D. Luling, Louisiana, $3,500. Number 2. 67 Mustang for $3,500. Yeah, okay, that price already tells you everything before you even read it. And then you do read it, and it's basically a rolling shell with commitment issues. Runs and drives with interiors and totes, and the glass isn't even the car. That's wild. Like you're technically driving a project mid-sentence. 6-cylinder, 3-speed. So it's not even a fun version, but it's still a Mustang, which is why this is dangerous. New brakes and fuel stuff is good. That means someone actually tried before giving up. The rust part, though, that's the real story. This is one of those cars where you think you're close, and then you're not even halfway. Number 3. 1999 Cadillac Eldorado Coupe 2D. Mobile, Alabama, $3,995. Number 3. 99 Eldorado for basically $4,000 in weight. For cylinder? No, we're already starting off wrong. That alone makes me not trust anything else going on here. Finance available, guaranteed approval. Yeah, this is that kind of dealership. The car itself, though, I kind of like these. Big coupe, late Cadillac try and still feel special. 115K miles is fine. Nothing scary there. But this feels like one of those cars that behaves perfectly right up until it doesn't. And then suddenly you're in deep. You're not buying this because it's a good idea. You're buying it because it looks good sitting there and the price doesn't hurt. Yet. Number 4. 1968 Dodge Dart. Baton Rouge, Louisiana, $4,500. Number 4. 68 Dart for $4,500. And this one feels calmer somehow. Slant 6 automatic, not exciting at all. But those engines don't care, they just keep going. Blue on blue is actually kind of cool in a simple way. But then you see the extra quarter panels, and yeah, okay, Rust already made decisions here. You're not preventing anything. You're fixing what's already gone. Seller sounds tired too, which I weirdly trust more than hype. This is just an old car that needs metal work. Nothing hidden about it. If you're into that, this could be fine. If you're not, this turns into a money pit real quietly. Number 5. 1974 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray Coupe 2D. Livingston, Louisiana, $5,000. Number 5. $5,000 for a 74 Corvette. And yeah, something had to be wrong. Runs and drives in first gear only. That's not a small issue. That's the whole situation right there. But man, black on black C3 for that price is exactly how people get themselves into trouble. Seller did a bunch of fuel system and ignition stuff, which is actually nice. That's time and money saved. But the transmission, yeah, that's where this goes from cheap Corvette to project you didn't plan for. Interior bits missing, needs cleaning, all expected. This one's dangerous because it looks like a deal, but it's really a decision. And yeah, I'd still be thinking about it anyway. Number 6. 1987 Cadillac Fleetwood. Breaux Bridge, Louisiana, $7,000. Number 6. 87 Cadillac Fleetwood for $7,000. Man, this is either the smoothest couch-on-wheels decision you'll ever make or the start of a very slow financial bleed. 80-something thousand miles, all original, including the radio and hubcaps. That's kind of cool, actually. Like, nobody's really messed with it, which is rare. Also means nobody fixed anything preemptively. These things are just massive. You don't drive it. You kind of captain it. Float down the road. One finger on the wheel, suspension doing whatever it wants. I can already picture the slightly faded velour, that soft, kind of musty smell that every old Cadillac has. Not bad, just lived in. $7,000 though. That's right in that weird zone where it's not cheap enough to ignore problems, but not expensive enough to guarantee it's been pampered recently. And everything original. Sounds nice until you realize it includes every rubber hose and every aging electrical connector waiting to act up when it's 95 degrees out. But I don't hate this. I actually kind of like this. It's honest, it's big, it's unapologetically old. You just gotta accept you're signing up for occasional nonsense. And fuel bills. Definitely fuel bills. Number 7. 1955 Chevrolet Bel Air. St. Amant, L.A., $7,800. Number 7. 55 Bel Air, 4-door, $7,800. Okay, hold on. That price is messing with my expectations a little. Usually anything with Bel Air on it gets emotional pricing real fast. It runs and drives. 265 with a 3-speed on the column. That's actually kind of charming. Like proper old school driving. No hiding behind anything. You're involved whether you like it or not. But yeah, 4-door. That's why it's under $10,000. People get weird about that. 2-door or nothing crowd. Personally, I don't care that much if the car's cool enough. And this one kinda is. Red paint helps. Probably hides a lot too. Interior needs work, but everything is there. I've heard that sentence so many times. That usually translates to you're about to spend more than you think just making it decent. Old interiors don't come back cheap, unless you're okay with it looking not great. Still, this feels like one of those cars you buy because you won't mess with something simple. No computers, no nonsense. Just metal and noise and occasional frustration. I don't trust it, but I also kind of respect it. Number 8. 1989 Chevrolet Corvette Coupe 2D. Gulf Shores, Alabama, $9,000. Number 8. 89 Corvette, $9,000. 32,000 miles. Okay, now I'm immediately suspicious. That's low. Like, really low. Original owner. Original everything. Garage kept. Yeah. I've read this at 100 times. But if it's actually legit, this is one of those time capsule C4s that somehow survived without getting turned into a midlife crisis burnout machine. The detailing and buffing part always makes me pause. Sometimes that just means we made it shiny right before listing. But the wear they describe inside sounds believable. Tiny flaws, not pretending it's perfect. I actually trust that more than mint condition, no issues. No cold AC though. There it is. That's the first real crack. And speakers doing the classic old GM static thing. Expected. $9,000 isn't crazy for a clean C4 anymore, which feels weird to say. For years, these were like disposable Corvettes. Now, suddenly people are treating them like collectibles. I don't know. Part of me wants it because it's clean and untouched. Other part of me knows I get in it. Feel the interior plastics. Hear a rattle somewhere. And go, yeah, this is still an 80s Corvette. But low miles like that, that's tempting. That's how bad decisions start. Number 9. 1973 Lincoln Continental Sedan 4D. Columbus, Georgia, $9,500. Number 9. 73 Lincoln Continental for $9,500. Yeah, that checks out. Giant yellow land yacht with a 460. Of course it is. This thing is absurd in the best way. Just pure excess. Long hood, long everything. Probably takes up 2 parking spaces without even trying. You don't buy this because it's practical. You buy it because you want to feel like you're in a completely different era every time you start it. Stored in a hangar for 10 years, then owned forever. Okay, that part 1 like. That sounds like someone actually cared. Not flipped 5 times in 2 years with mystery fixes. But man, the list of stuff not working. Windows half dead, no AC, no heat, Cruise gone, rust around the rear window. Yeah, that's where the romance starts to wobble a little. Old luxury cars age like this. Everything works until it doesn't. And then it's 10 little things instead of one big one. Still runs and drives great. Sure, they always do. Straight line, soft suspension. Probably feels like a couch on marshmallows. I don't hate it. I just know I'd spend the first 6 months fixing random electrical gremlins and chasing vacuum leaks instead of actually enjoying it. But that yellow, that's commitment right there. Number 10. 1965 Ford Mustang Coupe 2D. Diamond Head, Mississippi, $12,000. Number 10. 65 Mustang Coupe for $12,000. Childhood dream car. Seller says, which immediately tells me this thing is stories. And probably some decisions. 289 C4, upgraded radiator, electric fan. Okay, so it's been messed with, but not in a completely wild way. That's like the classic. I just want it to run better path. I don't mind that. Interior redone with a modern stereo and subs. Yeah, there it is. That split personality build. Half classic, half I wanted bass. Some people love that. Some people immediately start pricing how to undo it. Then the extra parts pile. Fender flares, 2013 Mustang GT seats. Extra wheels. This is where I start picturing the project that never fully became what the owner wanted. Just slowly collecting parts and ideas. 150,000 miles too. So this isn't some preserved original. It's been lived and driven. Probably fixed a bunch of times in different ways. $12,000 isn't insane for a running classic Mustang. But this one feels like you're inheriting someone else's vision mid-sentence. And you gotta decide if you're finishing it or starting over. I'd look at it. I probably shouldn't, but I would. Number 11. 1983 Cadillac Eldorado Coupe 2D. New Orleans, Louisiana, $10,000. Number 11. 83 Eldorado, $10,000. White on white. Okay, this is either peak classy or peak grandma never sold it and now it's haunted. There's really no middle ground with these. 96,000 kilometers too, which, wait, kilometers? That's already a little odd. Not bad. Just makes me wonder where this thing's been. These Eldorados from the early 80s always mess with me. They look big in pictures. But then you see one in person and realize it's actually kind of downsized compared to the older Cadillacs. Still soft, still floaty, just slightly more polite about it. White interior, though. That's commitment. That's also stress. Because every tiny stain, every crack, every little discoloration is just right there, staring at you like, yeah, I've been here since 1983. $10,000 feels ambitious. Not insane. Just kind of sitting right on that edge where I start asking questions I probably don't want answered. Like how the electronics are behaving. Because old Cadillac electronics don't slowly fail. They wait, then they all decide to act up together. I don't hate it. I just feel like this would slowly turn into a why does this one thing not work anymore kind of relationship. Number 12. 1966 Ford Mustang Coupe 2D. Baton Rouge, Louisiana, $10,000. Number 12. 66 Mustang Coupe for $10,000. Turquoise on turquoise. Okay, that color alone is doing a lot of heavy lifting here. That's cool. That's very 60s in the best way. Inline 6, though, and I can already hear half the internet complaining about it. But honestly, for cruising around, that's fine. Not everything needs to be a tire-shredding V8. Transmission rebuilt, new AC. That's actually stuff I care about more than most of the flashy mods people throw at these. Like, yeah, cool, it starts, it shifts, you don't sweat to death. That's a win. But this one feels a little bit like someone tried to keep it simple and just make it usable. I respect that. No weird engine swaps, no half-finished performance dreams. Just a classic you can get in and go. $10,000 though. I keep circling back to that. That's almost too reasonable for a running Mustang, which makes me think there's something you'll notice 5 minutes after buying it. Maybe paint, maybe rust hiding somewhere, maybe just vibes. Still, Of all the Mustangs you could impulse buy, this one feels weirdly grounded. Number 13, 1979 Chevrolet Monte Carlo, San Antonio, Texas, $13,000. Number 13, oh boy, 79 Monte Carlo, 13 grand. And I already see 6 switches, 2 pumps for batteries. Yeah, we're not even pretending this is a normal car anymore. This is full lowrider territory. And not like a fresh build either. This sounds like something that's been around for a while. Older build from the 90s/2000s basically means a lot of history, a lot of hands, and probably a lot of creative wiring choices. OG rebuilt 267. Nobody gets excited about that engine. Let's be real. The real star here is the hydraulic setup, which is also the part that will absolutely test your patience if anything starts acting weird. Gold exterior, white interior, gold 13S. I can already see it bouncing at a show somewhere, music going, people crowding around. It's cool, no denying that. But owning it? Whole different story. That's maintenance, that's electrical gremlins, that's chasing leaks and pressure issues. And why is it leaning today? 13 grand. I mean, for a running lowrider setup, that's not crazy. I just know myself. I'd be excited for about a week. Then one switch stops doing what it's supposed to, and suddenly I'm deep in a rabbit hole I didn't plan for. Number 14, 1978 Buick Electra Limited, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, $13,500. Number 14, 78 Buick Electra, 13.5, triple green. Wow, that is a lot of green. Like you either love that immediately or you don't even click on the listing. One owner, 70,000 miles, all original. Okay, now, this is the kind of thing that gets dangerous because it sounds too clean, like suspiciously well-preserved for something this old. And those big Buicks, they ride nice, real nice, soft, quiet, just effortless cruising. The kind of car where you forget how fast you're going because nothing feels urgent. Interior supposedly perfect, dash not cracked, vinyl top good. If that's all true, this is kind of special. You don't see many of these that haven't been baked by the sun or neglected into oblivion. But man, the way this ad is written, it's got that, I know what I have energy. And yeah, maybe they do. But that also means you're not getting a deal. You're paying for how nice it is. 13.5 is ridiculous. Just, you better really want this exact Buick, because you're buying the preservation story as much as the car. I'd be nervous I'd mess it up just owning it. Number 15, 1978 Monte Carlo, Monticello, Mississippi, $15,000. Number 15, another 78 Monte, 15 grand. But this one went completely the other direction. LS swap cam carb setup. Gears. Yeah, this is not your grandma's Monte Carlo anymore. This feels like somebody got bored and just kept adding parts. Stage 2 cam in it. Stage for cam still in the box. Why do I feel like this car has lived multiple personalities already? And the too much to list line always gets me. That's never a comforting sentence. That means there's a lot going on, and not all of it is going to make sense when you actually look at it in person. One rust spot the size of a quarter. Okay, maybe that's true. But then there's the mismatched fender, dent repair. So visually it's already a little pieced together. 15 grand is where I start asking, is this thing sorted or just fast-ish and chaotic? Because LS swaps can be amazing when done right, and absolute headaches when they're not. This one feels like fun. Loud. Probably quick. Definitely not subtle. Also feels like I'd spend half my time trying to figure out what the previous owner actually did to it.